All right, so today we're going to start talking about Lobby Manager. Now, Lobby Manager provides a nice way to synchronize the game. However, it forces your game to adhere to a style where players cannot connect whenever they want. They can only connect at the beginning of the game, and once the game has started, then no one else can join. So it is a limiting factor. First of all, and the other thing too is it gives a chance to synchronize information from the player information. So we won't have to do all of that difficulty of trying to set player choices with the sync var, or not sync vars, but the waiting for the sync vars to not be null. That will no longer be an issue. So it gives us an ability for a chance for the players to select their information, have the game synchronize the player choices, and then start the game. So with that, we will continue with. We'll start with the Log Manager example. To begin with, we are going to create a project. Make sure you set run in background, again under player settings, and we're going to make a scene. This time we're going to make 3 scenes. This scene will be lobby, and then we'll have online. So it's going to behave very similar to just a regular network manager, except this time we're going to have a lobby scene in between the offline and online scene. I don't know why it's taking so long to do that. All right. Then we're going to do online. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and make our network lobby manager. We're actually going to have to overwrite our lobby manager. I'll explain why in a moment. So we're just going to go ahead and make a folder. We're going to say my network lobby manager. And we're going to make another folder here real quick for my lobby player. And we'll see how far we go with this example, but we are going to then have my network player, and we're going to have my game piece. Again, I don't know how far we're going to go with this example, but I may use this. We may use this for an in-class assignment or exercise. All right. So starting with the network lobby manager, my network lobby manager, we'll go ahead and create a new script here. And we'll open this up. And you can do this with a normal network manager. If you recall, when we passed player information in, we did not extend it, we just added a script to it, but we're going to have to use a specific function here later on, so we do have to have it here. All right. So the next thing we do is we're going to say using Unity engine.networking, and instead of network behavior, we're going to inherit network lobby, network lobby manager, that one. This will include all of our game, all the different stuff we need. So since we are overriding this, we may as well have player options here. We don't need a second script. So we'll say it's not going to be a sync var. We'll say int team. We'll do the same thing that we did before and make this public. And public string p name. Again, these are not going to be sync vars, so we're going to have to set them, and then we'll see. I'll show you what we do in a moment. Actually, we don't need to do this here. This is not where we want to do this. So let's not do this here. We're going to do this on the network player itself, lobby player. So we don't actually do that there. All right. For the only other thing we're going to have to do for the network lobby manager is we're going to need a special function for bool, or see, override public override bool on lobby scene loaded for player. This is going to be a very, very important function that we have to overwrite. By the way, you can return, oops, you can return, oh, that auto-completed for me, I didn't realize that. You can overwrite any function that starts with on lobby. So this function actually, this base function does nothing. It's just built in on C to do this. But this is how we're going to associate the lobby player and the game player. So we're going to come back to this in a moment, but this is actually all we have to do right now for this particular piece of code. I forgot, yeah. So we'll save that. We'll come back to that in a moment. So now if I go up to my, so first of all, we'll go to build settings, and we're going to just go to our scenes, and we're just going to add lobby first, not lobby, sorry, offline first. Then we're going to do lobby, and then we're going to do online. All right, so now we added our scenes. Then we're going to go to our online or offline. And we're going to create our network manager, but this time we're going to create with our extended lobby manager. So we go to my network lobby manager and add the script to it, and now we can see the same, all the information that we had, the network lobby with the network manager, except we now have two different scenes. We have the lobby scene and the play scene. And what's going to happen is when we connect, we're going to jump into the lobby scene. And now we will see how this basically extends the current functionality. And now we get two network players. We get a network player for the lobby, so there's a specific lobby player, and then we get a network player for the game, just like we had a network manager. So we're going to have so we're going to have an opportunity to have this network, this lobby player that can send sync vars, send commands, whatever, and transfer information. And when a game starts, we'll have an opportunity to set up the network player as with this information. So it's going to be basically a two-stage process to start the game. And here with these prefabs, you can see that I have same stuff I had before, the network usage. Spawn info will create empty. We don't have to worry about spawning right now, although we would have to spawn if we have a game piece. So we don't have to worry about this right now. So we added our lobbies. So next, let's go to my network player, or let's do lobby player first. We'll create a script, and here we're going to add a C# script. We'll say my lobby player. Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be fine. My lobby player. Now here, actually, we're not going to make this a lobby player. I'll show you. We're going to do a little something different. We're going to use two scripts again, but this is basically going to be able to hold, or hold our specific information. Unity engine dot networking. You know what, we'll just go ahead and extend it. There's no reason not to. Okay, we'll just extend the network lobby player. we'll just make this an OP here. I don't know why my autocomplete's not working here. All right. And this is basically, once again, just going to be used to store information. So public int team and sync var public string name and public, and then we'll make a command. I'll say public void cmd set names int t string p, and we'll set our values this way. So this will, similar to what we did before, we'll just make a secondary class for this. All right, so I'll save that. Now we're going to go back to our Unity, and we're going to make an empty object. This is going to be our prefab, or will become our prefab for our network lobby player. Net lobby player. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to add network, and this time we're going to say network lobby player, and it's going to add our identity, and we're going to go ahead and throw my lobby player on it. Again, this will just hold information for us to set values for. And let me see. You know what? Let's go back to our script real quick. Let's make this 2 commands. I'll show you why in a moment. So this command set team. I know we could do this in 1. I'll explain why we're doing this. Then public void command set name. I'll explain why we're going to do this. We're going to make this a little easier for us. Okay, now that we have that, then we're then going to go and go back to our Unity, and we'll come back to this in a moment. So we have our lobby player set up. This is going to become our prefab. So we just go ahead and drag it down here, not there. So now we have our little network lobby player prefab, and this will be used to actually start the game and such. One thing we're going to add here for now, we'll change this a little bit later, but we're going to add the network. Actually, we'll do it on Network Manager. We'll do the add network. We'll use the HUD, and then on the network lobby player, we will show lobby GUI. Make sure this is clicked. Normally, you're not going to use this but we'll use this for now. And we'll talk about how to overwrite this. So this will create our network lobby player. The next thing we have to do is we have to create a script. So I'm going to say UI create canvas, and I'm going to make the event system. I'll just have to remember to put event system in the other 2 scenes. So on our canvas, we're going to then add a panel. We're going to call this lobby, and then we're going to say we're going to add an input field. and we're going to call it placeholder be enter name. And what we're going to do for the input field is we'll move it up a little bit. And then on the input field, we'll anchor around that object. Then we're going to go to Canvas. We're going to go to UI. We're going to add a dropdown. Again, the UI can actually be more of the time-consuming part of this, unfortunately. So dropdown, and then we're going to expand, and we're going to say the options for our dropdown are going to be red, blue, or green. I know, very original. So now we just have to link this up. So on value change, we'll click this. We'll click our network lobby player prefab, which will be part of the prefab eventually here. And we'll click our functions. We're going to go down to my lobby player and dynamic set team. And we want to make sure now that we say call command set team, not command set team. If we set command team, this will make it so it just calls it, but it won't call it as a command. If we say call, it'll be called as a command. So we'll make sure we select that one. Likewise with the input field, on string changed. Again, we'll drag our prefab down. And we're going to go to my lobby player, dynamic string, and we're going to say call command set name, not command set name, but call command set name. And then network player will apply this, and so we'll have our prefab stored. Now, how do we start the game if we don't have the network lobby GUI? Well, what we have to do is we have to call a function that says send ready, and once everything's ready, the game will automatically start. Once all the players are ready, the game will automatically start. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the button here, although we don't have to do this yet because we're using the built-in UI. Go to input fields or button. And then we go to text, and we're going to say ready. Again, once all players ready up, then we know that they are going to be. Then we know that the game can start. So we'll say ready, and then go back to button. On click, we're going to call network lobby player. We're going to call function on network lobby player this time, and it's going to be send ready to begin message. Now, if you want to be able to toggle on and off, you have to toggle between sending ready to begin and sending not ready to begin. In this case, we're not going to make the toggle. We're just going to have send ready to begin message. And this internally will call a command, so we're okay. All right. So now this is done. Let's see. Yeah, just apply. Don't forget to apply it. All right, and then we're just going to destroy this. And then going to our network player. This is going to be the network player for the game itself. Again, for this particular example, we're going to pretend like we have a game piece and a network player are going to be separate. They don't have to be separate in certain games, but in this case, we're just going to pretend like it is. So network player. The network player. My network player. And right now, it's not going to do anything that important. Reload all. Okay. We are going to, I did think of something on start. We'll make sure we're going to add start back to our network lobby player, or my lobby player. So I took this out, but I did remember something we do have to add. Inside start, we want to say if is local player, because we will have is local player. This is, even though this is going to be on the network lobby manager, we will know whether or not this is the local player. And if we, I believe, you know what, just to be on the safe side, we'll say this dot game object dot get component, sorry, network lobby player. So we'll get the actual lobby player just in case this one's not registering as a local player. Dot is local player. That way there's no chance of having us mess it up, because this is not actually the real lobby player. So if we extended network lobby player, we could just test if the local player. So if that is equal to false, so if this is false, my word, that's not what I want to do. If this is false, then we're going to say this dot, or transform dot get child 0 dot set act, or game object dot set active is to false, because we want to disable the UI if you're not the local player. So we do not want to see other people's UI. So this is what we're doing right here. Again, you can pause the move if I'm going too fast. And I believe we can use local player here because it's on the same game object, but if, just to make sure nothing weird happens, we're going to get the actual network lobby player component and check to see if it's a local player. All right, so that concludes that part of it. Now we're going to go back to our network player, and this is right now we're just going to do using Unity engine dot networking and make this a network behavior. And we're done for now. So we're going to go create a prefab. I think I meant to call that folder scripts, I'm sorry. Oops. I'll put that in scripts. Network player, come on. Unity is just having issues right now. Let's create an empty prefab. And we'll call this network player. And we're going to add network player to it. So here in our network player, we'll put our prefab, and this is just going to be a prefab for a network player when a game starts. I'm not going to do the game object right now, it's just the network player. So now, one thing we're going to go back to our network player for real quick, reload all. We are going to have a couple sync vars. Oh, this because I lost it. So we're going to have a sync var for our team, and we're going to have a sync var for our player name. All right. So this is, again, the whole idea is from our network lobby player, we enter this information and then we want to get it into this. Now normally what we had to do last time was we had to set up coroutines here and then do if we were the local player, send this information from the network manager or some other structure to the server to set these variables. And then the server had to wait until it received this information before it spawned the player character. We don't actually have to do it this time for that way. So what we're going to do is in our network lobby manager, remember we have this function here. So we're just going to say return true because realistically. Actually, there's a way to do a false return in case we have an exception, but we'll deal with that in a moment. In fact, we'll do it right now. We'll say try and then catch. We'll just do a general exception, and we're going to return false. So, and now what we're going to do is, this is the only possible time where the lobby player and the network player are synchronized. The game network player are synchronized. So we have to be very, very, very careful. Or this, like I said, this is the only time that these two are synchronized. The only other way to do this is if you check controller ID and player IDs from both objects and find which ones match. It's very cumbersome. And so originally when I did this, I did not know about this function, so I had to do it the other way. This is the way you're supposed to do it. So at this point, we have both the lobby player and the associated game player. And it's designed so we can transfer information from this to this. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to say and this will happen on the server. So we're going to say my lobby player, my L equals lobby player dot get component my lobby player. So we're going to get the thing that has the information, and we're going to say my network player my n equals, and we're going to say game player dot get component my network player. Then we're going to say, then here we just transfer the information. It's on the server and it's sync-varred, so it's going to synchronize. And this will happen before the object is spawned. So we're going to say my n dot team equals my L dot team, and my n dot pname equals my L dot pname. And then if we have a return, if we have exception, we just return false. But we shouldn't. So we'll save this, and now we'll see how close I am to getting it right. We may have to. Team. What do you mean it doesn't have a definition for team? My lobby player, public, and team. Oh, I didn't save it. That's why. Did that fix it? All right. So that fixed it. Okay. Don't forget to save your scripts. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go click on our network manager, and we're going to add our two prefabs. So we have the network lobby, the network player prefab. That's going to go in network, and it requires network identity. We're going to click on our network lobby player and drag that prefab in here. And we'll keep everything the same. So file save scene, I'll save project, and then the other thing I have to do real quick before I forget is I have to go to each scene besides lobby, besides lobby, and I have to, or offline. I don't know if I have to. So offline will have an event system. Lobby will not need an event system, and online will have to have an event system eventually. So I don't actually have to do this right now, but I might as well add an event system just to be on the safe side. Event system. There we go. And that's if I want to have a UI that says quit and go back to the main menu or something. So we'll save this now, and we're going to go ahead and run this with a single player and see how it works. Oops, I'm in the wrong scene. So here it's offline, I hit LAN host, and then I should Okay, let me try something else. That's interesting. I have not had that happen before. Let's go to on offline or lobby and just add that object. My network lobby manager. Oh. Let me try something real quick. Let's go click on we have network manager, and on the lobby scene, let's just click offline. Maybe I don't need, I thought I needed 3 scenes. Maybe I don't. Let's try that. Okay, so, okay, there it goes. So now we have LAN host. Okay. So it did not automatically move to the lobby scene. That's what's confusing me. All right. Now here I have my name, so I can type something, or I should be able to type something. Let me see if, so it is typing. Again, my UI is being uncooperative. I can select something. Again, the UI is being uncooperative, but you see the team name is being set. And then I can hit ready, or I can hit start here. As soon as I hit either this is the built-in one, this is ours, so we'll hit ready, and now the game should start. Yeah, so now we're on the online scene, and notice what happens is I still have my canvas up, so I need to disable that. But what happens is I have a network player clone, and here the network player clone has the same information that my lobby player clone has. So it does in fact work. So for the rest of the assignment, what I want you guys to do is I want you to take this now and make a second panel for your UI. Notice it disables or it doesn't actually disable anymore, so it doesn't, that's fine. But instead of having your canvas be on this panel, make a transparent panel that has a quit button that will disconnect you. And then I want you to create a game piece that has the player's name above it and the correct team color material on it. So, and then the game piece will be separate from the network player. So I want you to, and then if you have time after that, make it so you can control the game piece and move it around, which should be just like we did in the very beginning. So once we're at this state, everything we learned before with the network player and the network manager, everything's the same now. It's just that there's an extra object here that will help you transfer information into the game. I'm sorry, I forgot to test it with 2 players, so we'll test it real quick with 2 players. And host. So now notice on the built-in UI, I have 2 different players. Until both of these hit start, the game will not start. So this will be P1. Again, I need to make my UI larger. I hit ready. This says stop, but then this one's not ready. And then so here we'll say P2, and we'll select green. And then we're going to hit start. We'll hit ready. So now they both start. They're both in offline. But if I look under online, so they're both in online, I will see P1 and Team 1 for red, and I will see P2 and Team 2 for player 2. So this proves that it does in fact work with multiple players.